It's a new day, Newnan. Yes, it is. And I am the bearer of good news, the man with the nicest shoes, your best friend, and the one holding your hand. This is Newnan Time with Harold. And I'm coming at you not live from my kitchen, which is where all the podcast episodes come from. They come from me. Well, it's actually like we got one of them's like open floor plans. It makes it sound like it's real rich, but it's not. I don't know if that does. Like the living room and the kitchen and the dining room, and I guess that's all the rooms, and the cat tree are all in the same spot. Like not on the same, not like stack up. Like we don't eat in the cat tree, but it's like when you walk into the front door, it's like it's all there and you see everything. So I am in I'd say I'm like half in the living room, half in the dining room. You know how like when you stand on the state line of Minnesota, you're also in Washington? It's kind of like that thing, like where you can be in multiple states at once. And I am in multiple states at once. I'm in the state of euphoria and in the state of me-phoria. That's pretty good, actually. I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm glad I landed where I landed. You know, it's been a hot minute since we smashed your beautiful faces with the podcast into your ears. Why? And I apologize. You know, I've been going through a bit of a podcast life crisis. See, I feel like I know who I am on my website. I feel like I know who I am in person, and I feel like I know who I am on Facebook and Instagram and in my videos and in my interviews. Like who Harold is, I got it. I connect with it so much. The podcast, it's not really ever been that way, you know? It's been very experimental, which is probably a safe place to do it because, you know, podcasts, even though podcasts have become more popular, podcasts still aren't like the thing. No one spends as much time on podcasts as they do social media. Maybe not nobody, but podcasts is not like, whatever. My point is that I've experimented with a lot of things. Originally, when the podcast first started, all I did was talk about how good Wings and Things was. Then I started getting into stories of my past. Then I started getting into like really deep, sad things about my life. Like the most personal stuff you will find on old podcast episodes. Then we started doing parody podcasts that weren't even about real things at all. Then we got into the interviews, and we've done interviews. And now it just seems like whatever. Like I just sit down with a microphone and I go, I don't know what's happening today. And I want to try to ease your concerns about the podcast, who listeners out there, and let you know that not only do I have a plan going forward, I also don't have a plan, and I'm willing to change everything that I think is right at the spur of the moment, which is perfect. That's what you need. Newnan Time with Harold, that's me. You can find me on Newnan Time with Harold at Facebook, Instagram, NewnanTimeWithHarold.com, Newnan Podcast with Harold right here. We have Showtime with Harold, which means if you want to book us for all kinds of things, I'm a professional, man. I've been doing improv and trivia and stand-up and hosting things forever. This is what I do. So if you want something special, we got you. And now the podcast. Today's podcast, what we're going to start doing with the podcast, I think, is... And we've done a little bit of this in the past. We'll still do some interviews, and who knows. But my thought is that the podcast should be a behind-the-scenes look at some of the real stuff going on in Newnan. The social media, obviously, the website are very satirical in nature. The podcast has always been a little bit more serious. So I think I want to aim the podcast at here is what's going on as the other silly stuff is happening. How did we get to this point? What led to some of the special moments? What led to some of the moments that didn't work? What led to some of the moments that worked? What are some of the messages I get? I find that is the stuff that I have the most fun talking about, is that I have one outlet besides just talking with my girlfriend in bed when we should be sleeping and we should be kissing. I'm like, hey, let me tell you some stuff going on with Harry. And I start whispering sweet everything's in her ear. But I think I want to use this platform to talk about some stuff that... is happening with Harold. So today we are going to talk about the downtown Newnan Christmas Parade. If you were a part of that parade, then you saw us coming through. We were pretty early, maybe float number, after the float, I think we were like right after the first couple of floats. So the band went, we were then the first handful of marchers. Marching sounds weird. When you say somebody is marching, it makes it seem like it's only for something important. I don't know what you call it, walking. Are we walking in the parade? I guess parade walkers. We weren't parade marchers. We didn't have like some important social justice that we were trying to fight for. So we were not parade marchers. We were parade walkers. We walked really early, which was great. I was very, very happy. Like, we got there pretty early on time and checked in. I'll tell you what. We're going to go. I'm not going to go in order here because I'm not good at doing that kind of thing. The people that we checked in with at the UWG campus did not seem excited by the fact that I had signed up for this parade. I think her exact words were, "Oh, you're him." And I said, "That's me." She said, "Well, you're already checked in." And I said, "Okay." There was like 4 people there, so I don't know which lady it was at the table. But the lady that recognized who I was there with was, or at least did not seem happy to see me. Maybe they were just really busy. I like to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. I'm one of those annoying devil's advocate type people. So maybe, long day, stressed out. But I got there early because I'd never done this before. That's not true. I did this before with Newnan Theater Company, and I was a gingerbread man. But I didn't have to do anything but wear a gingerbread costume and show up late and walk and wave. But this is the first time I've been in charge of putting myself out there in the parade. $75. It cost $75 to get in there. And there I was, spending $75 for the right to walk. So maybe that's what I should be protesting. That it should have been $75. It should have been free. But then everyone would have done it, and it would have just been chaos. There would have been like a 6-7 float, which actually, the more I talk about that, the better that sounds. But since we got there early and got signed in early, we were able to stand like right where the entrance was, and so we got to get in there quick, which I was very happy about because that parade is long. It is a long Christmas parade. And maybe they're all that long. All Christmas parades last as long as ours did, but it felt long. So it was nice to be part of that first big spurts of energy. Like, we weren't 45 minutes in where the kids are getting cranky and it's getting cold and the hot chocolate caffeine is wearing off. We were like, bam, here we go, baby. So I very much enjoyed that aspect of it, of getting to get out there quick. But yeah, I signed up for the parade. I paid my $75. I really hope it was $75. The more I say it, the more I feel like maybe it was less. I think it was $75. Either way, I sent them $75. So whatever they did with it, who knows? It goes to putting up barricades. I don't know. Signed up. I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do for this parade. Somebody on the social media, on the Facebooks, told me that we should do an Alan Jackson Christmas and Hoochie Coochie Christmas. And so that was, in general, the theme. We all had kind of a cowboy hat, cowboy look. Not all of us, but I tried to get everyone in my group to kind of have a cowboy look. Everyone to wear mustaches. And on my hip, I had a speaker that was hanging down that was playing Alan Jackson songs, but it was so loud. I don't even know if anybody noticed that. Besides that, we handed out mustaches. We handed out candy. I am, at the end of the day, Harold is for the people, right? You know this about me. So I was very excited to bring in other organizations, which I don't know if that was allowed, and maybe me saying this is going to get me in trouble for next year. Like, they want different companies to get their own spots and pay their own $75. But for me, it was like, hey, Cuts and Comics, you want to walk with me and hand out stuff for your business? And then I went to Newnan Coweta Humane Society. And it's like, hey, does anybody in Newnan Coweta Humane Society want to walk with me? If we have like stickers or something, we can hand those out too. And I messaged James Shepard's wife, and I was like, hey, are you guys doing anything for the parade? At that point, I assumed since he's the mayor-elect that he was going to be, I don't know, on a float or something, right? And she, as lovely as she always is, was just like, oh, James will walk with you. So the mayor walked with us, the upcoming mayor. He walked with us. He helped hold the sign. I had some friends. My kid was there. My girlfriend was there, Hanley. So we had a nice group of mixtures of Harold, of important people to Newnan, people that are bringing the future about in Newnan, local business owners, a local organization that I'm very attached and love with, Newnan Coweta Humane Society, people that are important to me only, like my best friends and my child, and some people brought their dogs. So it wasn't a, look, everyone up here is part of the same church, or we're all part of the same company. It was all part of the same purpose. And that is, yo, baby, Newnan, baby. That's the purpose, is just being like, yo, that's what we notice. That's what we here for. So it was very cool to get a good mixture of people involved. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to. Again, never done this, putting it together. And then it went really, really well. We made our homemade sign that said Newnan Time with Harold. I bought a banner thing off Amazon, and the day of the parade, Hanley and Harold Jr. and I just drew Newnan Time with Harold and colored it in, to the point where we ran out of red ink for the word Harold. And so I actually asked someone with the Newnan Coyote Humane Society that was coming. I said, hey, y'all got any red markers? Because we had a red markers. Can you bring it? So our sign was not ready to go until about 15 minutes before we hit the parade, which is delightful. Because then we get in there and there's all these like professionally printed, beautiful signs and trucks with things hanging off of them. And then there's us showing you the spirit of creativity of Newnan with a banner that had drawn on it and colored on it, team effort, Newnan Time with Harold. I was very happy. I love that banner. It's in my garage. I want to like hang it up across the front of the house, but I don't think my girlfriend would love that, because at the end of the day, this is her house. She's let me live here with her. So maybe I'll just do it and see what she says. Maybe I will. Nah, I won't. I'm a good boyfriend. Anyways, so we did the parade. This is the process of how we got things together. Mustache, as far as mustaches go, I bought 300 mustaches, right? And when Cuts and Comics reached out and were like, hey, we'd love to walk in the parade with you. Are you really doing it? I said, they said, we'll help pay for half of the fee to sign up for the parade. And I was like, no, I don't need that. Of course not. But if you want to buy extra mustaches, that would be great. So they bought, I think, 180 to go along with it. So we had around 500 mustaches all together to give out, along with candy. And we went through every single mustache. We ran out of mustaches pretty quickly. There are so many kids, and kids like having mustaches, apparently. And it's been hilarious seeing pictures all over social media of people posting pictures of their pictures of their kids wearing mustaches at the parade, and how excited the people were just to have those. Because that was actually an idea of my friend. I call her Helena. Maybe I shouldn't call her by her last name on my podcast, but if you don't know her first name, you'll never know. But she was like, yeah, you should hand out mustaches. And I was like, damn, that's a good idea. So that's what we did, and that went over really well. I don't know what everybody else handed out. I'm assuming a lot of candy, maybe some necklaces, maybe some Santa-themed Pez dispensers. But I would guarantee you, I would bet $75 that we are the first people ever in the Newnan Parade to hand out mustaches. So if y'all are finding little mustache pieces all over downtown Newnan, that's us. That was our bad, but also our great, because how cool is that? And people ask me, I get asked a lot. I was like, why the mustache? For starters, that's just part of my face. But secondly, the idea behind Harold was always a funnier, like the vision was a funnier, better version of Newnan, because Newnan was getting boring and stressful. And I always wanted to grow facial hair, just me as a person, and I haven't been able to ever. 37 years old now, and I just can't grow facial hair. So the idea behind it was, if my effort into the page and the website and the podcast and everything I do is going to be to show Newnan in a better, in like a positive, silly way that I like to look at it, how could I see myself in a way that I would like to see myself? And being able to have facial hair, that's it. I was like, damn, I mean, I would like to not have diabetes. I would like to, otherwise, I'm pretty like, hey, I look almost every health issue that I have. I don't know. I'm also bipolar and depressed and suicidal. Not right now. I'm doing okay. I like my face. Like, my face is cool. But I've always wanted to have a facial hair. And I can't. But I can now. So now I do. And so that's cool. So that's why the mustache. The mustache is there because, for starters, I grew it out now, and it's there because I grew out a mustache. But secondly, because it represents a version of me that doesn't actually exist, but it would be cool if it did. So that kind of fits into the whole thing. So I like seeing. I bet there are kids that wake up every day and they brushing their teeth with their Paw Patrol toothbrush, and they look in that mirror and they go, "Man, I wish I had a mustache. That's how I envision myself." And you know what, kids? I got you. I feel the same way you do. I'm there with you, 4-year-old, with your Paw Patrol toothbrush. We are in this together. And you know, just as an interesting note, I used those little themed battery-powered toothbrushes, like the ones you buy at Walmart for $2. I used those up until about 35 years old, when I was like, wow, other toothbrushes work a whole lot better for a grown person's mouth. It's just a lot more fun. Like, I'm brushing my teeth with Donkey Kong. Like, that's cool. Like, I wanna see things that make me happy. I don't want to see white toothbrush that says Crest. I want to see Iron Man looking at me being like, "Way to go, citizen." That is not really, Iron Man's not really a way to go, citizen. He's like, "Oh, way to go, bro. You brush your teeth." Captain America would be like, "Way to go, citizen. Your teeth are clean. It's clean as the bars and stripes of the American flag." So shout out to Captain America if you're listening to this. Anyways, mustaches went out. Mustaches were great. I'm not sure how much candy was given out. Probably a lot, but hopefully not as many as there was mustaches, because at the end of the day, it wasn't about giving out sweet tart gummies. It was about giving out them sweet mustaches. I don't think I've cussed yet in this podcast, so I'm not going to start now. Then I don't have to mark it as explicit, and then they post that all over all the podcast things. Now I have to cuss. Ass. Damn it. All right. Anyways, as I was saying, handing out the mustaches, got to the end. We were all tired, because it wasn't even like it was a really long walk. It was just the energy once you get in there. And the noise and the activity is crazy. It was a lot more people. Hanley has commented multiple times that they wish they could go back and do the parade again, because they had no idea how chaotic it was going to be and how fast the mustaches would be given out. And honestly, there was a lot more people that knew who Harold was than I was expecting. So there was a lot of my attention being pulled back and forth from side to side of different people, mainly grown men. Mainly older men, not old men, but not like 20s, but older men that were like, "It's Harold, hey Harold, what's up Harold, high five Harold." A couple ladies, I gave them hugs. I gave the men hugs too. I saw my friend Dale, love Dale. I saw a lot of people, but it was cool. And I can't speak for what happened after I got through the parade, because we got through, again, we were in the first probably 5 to 10 of the parade. And then we had to circle back and walk all the way back to our cars. And so we cut back to see the parade, the last little bit of it. And this was like an hour into it, and it was still going. And there still seemed to be several people still filing into the street that hadn't even gotten started yet in the parade. So I don't know if by the end people were exhausted and people wished they wouldn't have come, and people were like, that parade was too long. But I know for me, the part that I played, very much enjoyed it, and I'm proud of the city of Newnan for how easily it all put together. I had to send multiple emails throughout the process, just double checking things and checking, be like, "Hey, do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? Is this the right information?" And they always responded within like 12 hours. They were really, really good about that. And then besides the lady that sounded like she didn't want me to be there, which that might be me. What do you call it when you feel something and you put it on somebody else and make them feel the same thing? It's not foreshadowing. What is that called? Someone's going to listen to this episode and text me, and they're going to say the name of what it's called, and I'm not going to know what they're talking about. Then they'll have to explain it. So if you are that person and you know what it's called, when you have a feeling, how you're feeling, and you're putting the way you feel on somebody, I know it's not foreshadowing. I know it's not shadowing. I think it's shadow because it's like your darkness is going on them. It's not that. But if you know it, go ahead and text me at 678-877-9070. But the city was great. It was awesome having James there, our mayor-elect. He's been a good friend of mine that I have made. Got to see him, got to see his family, got to see big fan of Chatty Newnan Women. I love that lady, and got to see her. it felt cool. It was a good community that we all came together. And again, I can't speak for after us. I can't speak for how the rest of the parade went. But for me, really cool, really good time. Had a lot of fun. We'll do it again. So that is just some of the behind the scenes information on how the parade came about. I think we had probably 14 people walk with us all total, which I had told the city when I was saying at 10 to 12. So we did more than we were supposed to. I had also asked, hey, can I bring music? And they were like, no, there's going to be a lot of noise. You probably shouldn't. I don't even think you'd be able to hear it. And I did it anyways. And they were right. I shouldn't have brought it. Nobody could hear it. Unless you did. If you heard my Alan Jackson playing from my hip bone, the Alan Jackson is connected to the hip bone, then let me know, and I'll be really proud of myself and be like, that was the right choice. So let me know about that. Anyways, that is what happened at the Christmas parade. After that, Hanley and I came back home. Well, we came back home because I had to get a new insulin pump on because I ran out of insulin. And then we went to Skinny's for karaoke for the first time. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that because if you've never been to Skinny's for karaoke, which this was my first time, as mentioned, I was a skinny virgin, a skinny karaoke virgin. I was a virgin with a microphone. Ooh, that sounds like a Quentin Tarantino character, virgin with a microphone. Does it? I don't know. It was a very interesting experience. I don't know if they have regulars. I would assume so, but that place was packed on a Saturday night. The DJ they have there, he does a great job, DJ. I see his name all the time on Facebook. I think it's McBrayer. I don't know how he says it, but really nice guy and an intense personality, a big personality. So he can be like, he's right in your face at first and you're like, okay, whoa, bro, what's up? But then you start talking to him a bit and you get to know him a little bit, and easy dude to joke around with and make plans with. I got to meet the owner of Skinny's, great guy, really enjoyed speaking with him. Again, the place was packed. I think we got the last table there, me and Hanley. But I sang Making Love Out of Nothing at All by Air Supply. I sang Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And I sang Get Low, Little John and the East Side Boys, which that one got posted on the social medias. And my beautiful girlfriend sang Rudolph, Part of Your World from Little Mermaid, and Let It Go from Frozen. So we definitely brought a different energy. Like when we got there, there's a lot of country, then a few of the cliche songs that everybody knows. But we were like, nah, we gonna do us, because that's what we do everywhere we go. And we had a really good time. It was fun to meet people that I haven't met yet. Skinny's did a very, very wonderful job. Their waits, I'll tell you what, I put out the Roundy Awards before I started going to Skinny's. So I didn't nominate them for anything. But they've got some great stuff. Real good management, real good employees, fun atmosphere. Can't nominate them because it was too late in the year that I started doing it, but I should give them a shout out and be like, if I would have visited y'all more earlier in the year, y'all would be getting nominated for all kinds of awards because y'all are great so far. Been twice. Once just as on a date to see stand-up comedy, and then for Skinny's, and I've enjoyed both times immensely. They seem like they know what they're doing as far as customers, employees. And I know we know like a handful of the employees, and they all have great things to say about management, and that's cool. So anyways, what else is going on? Next week is Christmas. Probably not a podcast then, day after Christmas, but maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'd like to do it. I'd like to do the podcast. We're going to have the kids. The kids will be all running around and loud. Maybe I'll interview one of the kids. That'd be cool. You can, of course, come see Harold host trivia, or you can book Harold to host trivia, stand-up, improv shows at your location. We can either do it every week. We can do it every now and then. I got all kinds of fun things put together. Just, text me, call me, 678-877-9070. And with that said, I just want to tell you, I also, guess what? Another behind-the-scenes thing, because that's what this podcast is now. I've got the phone number for Mr. Personality now. I posted about it. I was like, hey, I really want this. Does anybody have it? I want to try to do something with it. And people had it, and they gave it to me. So something's in the works with Mr. Personality. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, love you.